So everybody knows Deepa Singh Sikh. I only found out his real name today. I usually call him Deepa. So he's going to talk on current issues. But one thing I like to ask the Bibiya, I actually asked him to make a poster of this Bibi out there. So can Bibiya put up their hands that they know that Bibi? Let's see how many of you Bibiya. There's a poster, there's a banner outside the Darbar Sahib. There's a Bibi giving a lecture, a youngster like you. Can anybody of you put your hands up? How many of you know her? That's how much we are messed up. And that Bibi was Bibi Upakar Kaur. She was a living Mata Par Kaur. She used to set up camps like these, like Boss Camp in India during the 70s, 80s. Not just preach Sikhism, but to save lives. When they stormed the Golden Temple, that Bibi stood against the tanks and helicopters. And please dig up the history. She is called Shaheed Bibi Upakar Kaur. And she's not a literate like me, very educated lady. Read about her, that might change your lives as well. So I'm going to let Bhai Deepa talk on current issues. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. तो मैं अपनी धीआं नूं ते भरावां नूं एक बेनती जरूर करनी आ, शायद मुड़ के टाइम ही ना मिले गुरुद्वारे दे स्टेज सैक्टरी ਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਮਾਈਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੀ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਆਇਆ ਆ, ਛੱਡਣ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਦਾ ਜੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ। ਸੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਾ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਚਲ ਗਏ, ਬਰਮਿੰਘਮ ਚਲ ਗਏ, ਲੰਡਨ ਚਲ ਗਏ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਸੈਂਸਿਬਲ ਜਿਹੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ। ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਧੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਸਾਈਜ਼ਦੀਆਂ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਸੂਟ ਪਾਏ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਸੂਟ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਇਆ ਕਰੋ। ਤੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ, ਜੇ ਪੈਂਟ ਸ਼ਰਟ ਪਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਚਾਹੇ ਕੁੜਤਾ ਪਜਾਮਾ ਪਾ ਲਓ, ਤੇ ਸ਼ੋਰਟ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਸਤਾਰਾਂ ਆ, ਚਾਹੇ ਕੇਸੀਆਂ ਸਜਾਈਆਂ ਚੁੰਨੀਆਂ ਆ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ, ਪਰ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਮਾੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਰੁਮਾਲ ਲੱਭਦੇ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੁਮਾਲ ਦਿਓ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਣਾ ਹੈ। ਕਿੰਨੀ ਮਾੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ। ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਘਰੋਂ ਸਗੋਂ ਪਰਨਾ ਬੰਨ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ, ਦਸਤਾਰ ਬੰਨ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਜਾਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
That was Satgar Jo by Manjeet Singh, who's done a massive Qurbani for the Qawm. First of all, on behalf of me and the Sikh Youth UK team, Sare Hath Jod Ke Fateh Di Sanj Pao, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Now, a special guest who cannot be here today, but he sends his Fateh. Everyone put your hands together from Jagtar Singh Johal, Jaggi. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. We're talking about current issues today here in Punjab. And as you can see, one of our brothers, very close to us, sacrificed a lot for the Panth and has been tortured to this day. No justice in the system in India at all. Our brother has done so much for the Panth that nobody knows his day and how much he's done. But I'm going to just give you a little insight into what he's done. The website, Never Forget 1984, it's currently been taken down. He did that. He went bend to bend and scanned all of those Shaheed Singh's photos with their families so we can put them on banners outside here at camps. Look at them on Shaheed Singh's on Gurdwara walls because of a brother like Jaggi. He sat with the families. He knew which police officer raped which mother and which sister. He documented everything. That's a sheer. He's done a massive Qurbani. Nobody knows how much he's done, how many Shaheed Singh daughters he's married, how many of their parwars and houses he's built. We wouldn't know because we're not interested in current affairs which affect the Panth. But he was. 1984 changed many people. Sant Jarnail Singh changed many people. These sacrifices made all those banners outside because of things like Juggy, we can put them up. Bhai Sahib was just on about Bibi Upkar Kaur. We know about their Sakya because people documented it. But who's doing them today? Bhai Amandeep this morning was talking about the tyranny against the system. What was going on historically to us as a Bant. What, do you think it's not happening now? Look at Jathedar Harminder Singh, who was made Shaheed on April the 18th this year. Who knew what he did for the Bant? This man kept the struggle for Khalistan alive, for our own homeland, that all those sacrifices made. Nobody's going to tell you that, but I will. We have to speak the truth. We have to be real. Why was he made Shaheed? Because he was fighting against tyranny, like Baisab was on about this morning. He was turning gangsters into Gursikhs in jail. That's why he's become Shaheed in jail. 2 pictures behind me, Gurpreet Sekhon and Vicky Gunda, Punjab's notorious gangsters. In prison, he turned them into Gursikhs. That's why he's made Shaheed. But we don't think there's issues anymore, do we? We're sleepwalking through life like everything's rosy. Well, it's not. This is Punjab I'm on about. What's going on there? It's a reality check. We're listening to a lot of Sakya historically. We're listening to what sacrifices were made 20, 30, 100 years ago. What about today? What about today? Why do we speak passionately about these Gursikhs? Because we were very close to them. Because we knew what they were doing for the Panth. When Ram Rahim impersonated Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, Jathedar Harminder Singh took the fight back for Khalistan and he went back to Punjab. He had his business, he had everything. I cannot speak enough, good enough. I am nobody on this stage compared to what they've done, but at least I'll try and tell their message. I won't brush them under the carpet and leave them as just another Shaheed. You know, we get conditioned. It's like a mentality, we're conditioned, oh, just another sacrifice, just another Shaheed. This is a massive qurbani for the Panth. Who knows what happened at 5 a.m. this morning? Anyone? Edinburgh Gurdwara was petrol bombed, attempted to petrol bomb. Edinburgh Gurdwara. 5 a.m. this morning, when we were probably setting up and sitting in the Darbar. A few months ago, if you look at Leeds, there was another target on a Sikh Gurdwara. We're talking about current issues where we're under attack. I'm going to fly through this PowerPoint. Grooming, people think it just happens here with dirty old taxi drivers. That's another issue. And it's about our deep end, Izzat. Those things in the 80s who are out there now, they stood up for our deep end, Izzat. It's the way of the Khalsa. This is what we're up against now. This guy's born and bred here, Coventry, Naweed Hussain. He's an ISIS groomer. He was grooming people online, and then, as you can see, trying to get them to come over to Syria. Young Sikh girl targeted, ready to go Syria, currently in prison. Another one, Kamaljit Nijjar, Sandeep Samma. There's 2. How can there be 2 Sikh girls in national media targeted by ISIS in the last 6 months to a year? But you don't see many white girls, black girls being targeted, but why specifically 2 Sikh girls publicized in the main national media? The prachar against us, as you can see, is demonizing to our sisters. This is what we're up against. This guy is one of them, Ali Dawa. There's a video by Basics of Sikhi Jagraj Singh, the late Bhai Jagraj Singh, who had a really good video with this guy, and he floored his arguments on Sikhi. When you've got knowledge, you can have a debate. but if you don't know what the issues are, you don't know how they're acting. And Jagraj knew, because he regularly spoke to us. He knew what the current affairs were. Be in the loop. Since the 70s, here, our sisters have been targeted on these streets. There you go. That was in the Telegraph, 1971 in Slough, where 4 guys were imprisoned for targeting a 16-year-old Sikh girl, and 1975 in Huddersfield. This is in the National Daily Telegraph. These are facts. At the moment, our team are actually doing a report, historical report, on the targeting and the racially, religiously motivated targeting of Sikh girls. Coventry College, 10 guys from Birmingham travelled just to specifically target our sisters. This is in courts in UK. This was evident in 90s. Jack Straw was a Home Secretary, and he said the Pakistani community must face up to this issue. Sarah Champion currently also openly speaks about this. She said they need to face up to their issues. Why are we scared to be so, politically correct and not talk about it? When we're talking about the Mughal regime, Ahmad Shah Abdali, and you're looking at Aurangzeb, what about today? At the end of this PowerPoint, I've got a 3-minute video I want to show you. And it highlights how Mir Manus jails, you know what, they still exist today. Just a different tariqah. Us, this is our team engaging with the likes of Sarah Champion to make a change. It's positive. There is positives. It's not all negative. There is positives. These are your gangs that are being publicized. I'm trying to fly through this as quick as possible because I know you've had a long day, but you need to know what the issues are. This is some of the stats in the area I actually sort of based in Sandwell. These are the figures. We're on about racially and religiously motivated targeting of Sikh girls. This video, indecent video, which was made, if it's a legitimate relationship, so they say, it's a legitimate relationship, how can an indecent video be made while they're doing a dirty deed? He goes up to Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's photo, our Dasmi Pasha, our father's photo, then comes back to the girl. Was that politically correct? And then the comments from the rest of the bros, you've just wiped out Sikhism. This is what we're up against. These videos have been uploaded onto indecent porn sites and then put public. Specifically targeting Sikh girls, then putting it up to our Guru's photos and then coming back. Of course it's religiously and racially motivated. When people wear gare and they come to Nagar Kirtans, of course it's religiously motivated. But we don't see past that. We think everyone's like us, but they don't. Not everyone is like us. Currently, we've got a lot of cases. This young girl was raped first when she was 11 years old. You lot might have little sisters in Doncaster. This is one of the most horrific cases I've heard. 18 men gang raped a young girl. This is another girl in Leicester that we've sent back to Italy because a lot of migrants are coming here, and in the British community, in the British-born Sikhs, we understand some of these issues, but they don't. They're first generation again. We've sent girls back to Spain and Italy. This is in Leicester. Wolverhampton, an Algerian gang targeted a girl who went to Sandwell College. She's currently unknown. Cardiff, around the corner from here, Wales. We're in Wales. You'd never think it. Phone shop The guy targeted her when she was 14 in a phone shop. He owned a phone shop. He showed her a flat. He bought her a BMW. This is Cardiff. Glasgow. Nowhere safe. But we're sleepwalking again, burying our heads in the sand like there's nothing exists. None of these issues, it doesn't affect us. Of course it affects us. When they're singing or having abortions, it affects us. The start of Aliyah, yeah. This is the state we're in. You can see what goes on the media. This video was put out on BBC last year. It was fantastic. It's had a BAFTA. That's how powerful it was. The message got out there. Who was doing it? This was based on the Rochdale gang. These books, if you hear what you hear from us, read them. They'll tell you about 10 times worse. These are the girls. I've spent time with some of them. This is Sammy Woodhouse from Rotherham, and she was abused from the age of 14. We need to start being proactive and doing things. We're trying through media, through music, through films. We're engaging with the community. The Pant backs us. Look, every time we do an event, they do back it. They do stand. They support us because they know we're talking the real and we're trying. We have to show up. We have to show our face one day. And if you knew something was going on and you turned a blind eye, then that's not what Sikhi is about. That's not what Sikhi taught me. We need to start acting like Khalsa. Not hippies. We have to act like Khalsa, because that's what we are. When you give your head, just like them sings outside and them singing here, who sacrificed everything. Magazines are available here before you leave. But before we go, I want to play this short video for you. It shows how Mir Manu's jail still exists today. This young girl, last year, was under the system of a groomer and a gang, and in the current system of social care. With Maharajas beyond Kirpa, Maharajas, nobody else is, and some of our Sevadars who put time and effort in, she's sitting here in the Sangat today. If you put time and effort in, you can make a change in someone's life, in someone's family, not just that person, but the whole families. I want you to listen to what actually goes on within the system, within these gangs, from her voice, not mine.
Your dad's going to axe you and throw you into a canal in a body bag. Come with me, I'll keep you safe, he said. Those words triggered me to leave everything I had known for the last 16 years behind. I still remember that February morning that I left. He was outside my house for 3 o'clock in the morning, waiting and bombarding my phone with abuse. He knew everything about me, where I would be, at what time, what I would be doing and how I would be feeling. Eventually, at 5 a.m, I caved in to the pressure and left my home. For the next 8 days, I was passed around his family. I was forced to sit through Islamic prayers, drug raped almost every night by my boyfriend, and locked inside rooms so I couldn't escape. I was reported missing, and soon my school had got social services involved. Overnight, I was placed into an African foster family. I was a free bird now, allowed to come and go however I pleased, which made me more vulnerable to the abuse that was to follow for the next 10 months. Parks, canals, and hotels are just some of the places he would force me to perform sexual acts on him. Every time I refused, I was subjected to physical and mental abuse. Eventually, I gave in to the rape and abuse, thinking it would stop him from torturing me, but even then, he continued. The psychological damage of those attacks inflicted still haunts me today. I'm not able to have a bath without remembering how I gasped for breath after he plunged my head underwater for 30 seconds at a time. I still feel the burning sensation when I look at a kettle. From the numerous occasions he poured boiling water onto my back. I have scars that will last a lifetime on my neck and my wrists from his hunting and surgical knife, all reactions from a panic attack I had. The taste of the 30 painkillers I overdosed on still doesn't leave my mouth, neither does the hot candle wax he poured onto my tongue. Many times I woke up in a haze because of the spiked drinks he gave to me. There's one time I will never forget, lying naked on damp grass. He was kneeling on one of my legs. He held a lit cigarette in his hand and he reached between my thighs, telling me I was no use to him, and then he told me he was going to burn what he had abused. I realised what he was talking about, and then he dabbed the cigarette onto me. I pulled away my leg. My upper thigh has a 1-inch scar on it as a result. Now I'm on 2 antidepressants, plus sleeping tablets, a daily prescription. I'm getting psychiatric help along with counselling. The positive outcome of my experience is that I've met Sikh youth UK Save Others. Without their help, I know I would be abroad right now, getting passed along perpetrators with an acid-attacked body. Instead, I've been given a platform to speak out to my sisters. As much as he infiltrated me against them, I knew that they were always my safety blanket. And up until now, they still support me by sitting in and looking through my care plan that social services has set out, and being there for me during police interviews. Sikhi saved my life, and I'm so grateful to be in such good sangat today. To my sisters, I know how easy it is to fall into love with someone when they are giving you all the attention that your own blood doesn't give to you. I'm trying to get back the 10 months I lost with my family by dropping out of sixth form and undertaking my second year of A-levels at home. I know the struggle Sikh youth goes through in order to get our sisters back from foster care or away from grooming gangs, and I respect the effort so much. I urge you to spread awareness and think twice about who you talk to. You are the children of Guruji and are our mothers of the future. You can stay on the right path by following Sikhi and the hukum of Maharajji. I was saved at the right time, but sometimes it's far too late. The case of Sandeep Samra being a prime example. Be vigilant.
Be vigilant. The last words. They could be sitting in your schools, your college, your uni, or your workplace. Don't think vulnerability is just when you're 16 and under. You could be vulnerable as an adult. You could be besotted. You could be, anything to make something, but you to believe that you're in love. But fresh pair of eyes from the side that we see, and so many houses that we sit with, Cardiff and Wales. You know how bad this system is. Those cases that I was showing you about Cardiff and Wales. When you put on community pressure, you have to let them know that the families ain't alone. Why? Because at the beginning, when they mention our daughter might be being groomed, guess what the police are doing? They're arresting the whole family, from the mums, dads, sisters, putting the kids into care, fuffers, buas. This is how bad it's getting. We're up against the system. And don't think it's just Deepa here. There's so many sevadars out there behind the scenes doing so much. Currently there's 76 cases we've got. Not all grooming. Some alcohol and drugs. But I would say about 80 to 85% of those 76 cases are grooming related. We need to spread awareness. Don't look at me. Listen to them and share their videos. Don't worry about who's talking here. Share those videos. Share that prachar. That's what's important. Why? Because it will save your family. Let's come to the end of the PowerPoint and the presentation. I tried to go through that as best I could, and I tried to send the message as best I could in the short space of time we had. I know you've had a long day and I didn't want to keep you. But for everyone who's heard this today, please share this message. Spread it. Get involved. Be active. Research on all those things and singing outside. There's 2 magazines here. Take a copy of each. I want to thank you all for all being patient and listening this evening. But please wake up to the current issues.
Can you give us an example
Sorry?
Can you give us an example of a case where the land has been turned upside down and now they've changed completely? Like, what the positives are?
Positive. When you see dads who are suicidal because their daughters ain't at home, yeah, and they're currently sane now because their daughter's under their roof, that's a positive in my eyes. If we all stand under one message and challenge the system, just like the Singhs did in the 80s and just like we did historically, we have to go against the grain. It's the only way. If we try and fit in, we're going to change the Sikhi system. We go against the system. Why? Because when it's corrupt, when they're siding with the dushman and not yourself, yeah, then you need to wake up and stand against tyranny. Just like, look, again, you're going to see, you saw Jack Straw, you saw Sarah Champion speaking against their system, and they were tarnished. They have death threats. What do you think we have on a daily basis? But we're still here challenging the system. We have to all be the voice, not just Deepa. Right, and if you want to write to MPs, more than happy. Tell them that Sikh girls are being targeted and is religiously, racially motivated. If you want to make a petition and get everyone to sign it, but what we start doing is going against what the system tries to make you in a slave mentality do and go with that instead of actually going against the grain. You have to be on the ground to understand the issues. Have to be. Any other questions? I think they've got their own current system. And within that system, they only focus on how young white girls are targeted. They don't understand how Sikh girls are targeted and how it's religiously, racially motivated. When they admit that, then they can understand the issue. But when Sikh girls are targeted young, when people are deceitfully making Instagram names from Naveed to Nav and targeting young Sikh girls, then they don't understand that. But we do, so we have to be a voice and challenge that system. Yep.
Right? They have the freedom to do, eat what they like, drink what they like, and do what they like. That is the ethos that they tend to follow. However, you can control some of that, but modern technology, as you know the way it is, you can switch the TV off downstairs in a house, but children have access to modern technology wherever they can avail
I know where you're going, and I don't think it's just 16 and under. This is what I said. I don't think 16 and under are just vulnerable. Adults can be vulnerable. Girls are targeted at uni specifically. This year we've had cases in and around the Birmingham area at a few universities, at other unis as well. We've even had one at Cambridge University. Of course. So it's not just under 16. This is why we have to challenge and say, and we have been, since the 70s, we've been taking it to the police, not just like our elders, but a lot of families and solicitors have, and this is why we're documenting this historical report. It's very important to do that. So anyone wants to help with that, you're more than welcome. If you're educated, get involved. Whatever skill set you have, Jururiya, put it to the pant. Not just on grooming, on all the current issues, like the BRW this morning, Utte Vocal Hall, where there's talking about Shaheed Singh Pachal, when there's talking about Azadi of Khalistan. We have to be vocal and stick to the Panthik agendas. Can't go against each other. Even if we disagree in the House, we have to stick to the main principles, and they are our current issues, and that's what I've been speaking about. Our Juggi's our brother, he was a Munna, now he's Sajina the Star in jail. Why? Because the current Indian regime is against us. Why did they pick on Juggi specifically? Tusi daso. Why did they make Jathedar Harminder Singh Shaheed this year? You tell me. We know, because we're within the Panthik issues, we're understanding, and this is why we need to do our research. Don't just look at magazines, read them. Just a quick announcement before we finish off. G&G Smedic in Birmingham, we're doing an annual Freshers Fair. This is the third one we're doing. Please all attend. Let us know what sort of activities and stuff you want there and what sort of stalls. Please get involved. Take posters, give them out, put them up in your area. All the posters are here, all the magazines are here. Is there any last questions before we finish for the night? Well, we do awareness talks within the universities. I think last year we hit about 25 unis in a space of about 2.5 months. So we did a lot. What we did was engage everyone and said, we'll give you £100 for awareness talk and for your Sikh societies. But I think Sikh societies sometimes, and some people might get offended here, but I don't think we're hitting our peak, what we could be. I think we need to start hitting the Bangla societies and getting them engaged, because they're the disengaged. You see what I mean? So we need to start hitting the disengaged to get them to understand. They might, like me as a Munna, before I become a Singh, it's the stories of Sant Janel Singh and the Shaheeds that inspired me, and the current issues that we always got engaged with. So, you know, if you're not in the Bantik circle, sometimes to get them engaged, you have to talk about current issues, which is something that they engage with. So we have to engage the disengaged. So any ideas you want or you want us to do, but specifically around the freshers period, we do focus on social media, alcohol and drug awareness and grooming, because at freshers, that's where it's prime, where you're going to uni and you're very vulnerable at the start. Especially uni, but not even uni, sometimes it's before you even get there. It's at colleges, it's at sixth forms. Of course they can, yeah. More than likely. There is a link somewhere where you can get all our social media pages and website. But yeah, do get engaged. Thank you. I know the night's gone on, but thank you for all patiently listening, understanding the current issues that are going on in circles. Our Sivadas are here. If you need to speak to anyone, boys and girls, don't just think it's males here. There is females a lot working behind the scenes, you know, doing a lot what they can and when and if they can. But we are a voluntary organisation and we try our best to do what we can. So thank you all for listening. I want to thank Boss, Sikhi Camp. They do a fantastic job and always give us a platform every year. So we appreciate the platform, and for the Sangha to listen to the actual issues that are going on currently. Please spread the message. It's really important. All the things, all those shaheeds, learn about them. Learn about their jivans and try and aspire to be like them, or even put one little bit of their jivan into yours. You know, it's been a really positive day. I've listened to some of the talks and, you know, it's fantastic what's going on. Just keep the positive vibes for the next few days. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.